to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you can overprocess somebody here in 7 minutes.
Or you didn't accidentally talk to somebody or this, that, and the
And you know, 9 out of 10, when you go smoke your square, you scrolling or something. So it's probably a few extra minutes that you was unaccounted for. You can fry somebody hair. It's called a chemical haircut. Then get through. Now they trying to steal you or fight you or shoot you.
And then, because if you have your own business, seriously, make sure that you have some kind of liability insurance because people will try to sue you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you some liability insurance? It's not that expensive, but make sure that you have some.
It's probably a haircut or a hairstyle amount.
They will take you to small things.
They will. In a heartbeat.
That's why consultations are important.
Consultations are important.
They've been
You
watching
watch it.
something they hear, they told you in their consultation, or you didn't even think to ask, and you think you just working with regular
Yeah, because some
hair,
people
so-
just bring them in there. Okay, girl, I see you. Let's get this party started. No, let's talk.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I almost start my consultation if I'm approaching a new client. I did already like looked at their hair, so, you know,
Mhm.
Why you taking
as
us
I'm
to
talking to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like when I pass my business card, like, hey, you got a market?
Yeah, I've already
You have
assessed
established,
it.
I've already assessed you before. So the
Yeah.
closer I get to you, I'm looking like, okay, yeah, this is
So
what you do.
make sure that you have consultation. I would make a song out of that. Then put it in here because once you put it up here, you don't forget it. But make sure that you come because you step away. I don't care. And usually it takes 30 minutes for a hair color to start on some people depending on their hair. But if you want, sometimes I will not start anything if I see they have low porosity or whatever. I'm going to suggest we're going to condition your hair. We're going to get your hair ready before we put anything on it. So, because you can talk someone into getting their hair ready by giving them deep conditioners before you start giving them anything. Same thing goes with relaxers. If you get their hair ready, it's like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Your hair is awfully dry. It's not, and it's gonna break off.
So you will blow dry it after?
No. You're gonna start giving them. You're gonna tell them that you ain't gonna do their hair until they get these conditions. I used to make them wait 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I was gonna say about 2 weeks.
Protein treatment, 2
protein
weeks,
treatment.
deep conditioner, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So then you
basically
test
deferring them.
Yeah, that's.
You're gonna be doing. You have to get their hair ready for whatever chemical that they're gonna get on their hair. So it doesn't. When you rinsing it out, it ain't going down the drain.
And if they have a problem with it, that's not.
And if they don't wanna go to you,
Because
then
that means
hey.
they gonna be doing stuff in between your services is gonna keep making your work harder. So go to somebody
Y'all gotta accept that people, because you're transferring into being a professional, now y'all learning the professional ways to do it. That's the way that you're going to do it from here on out.
Right.
And y'all clients, a lot of y'all clientele that y'all got right now, they're probably gonna fall off because they're not gonna want to pay. They're not gonna want to wait that 2 weeks now that you obtain this knowledge. And you're like, I shouldn't be doing this, y'all.
We're not trying to rush you because they feel like, oh, you're a professional now.
Well, yeah,
don't you know how to do it?
doing
You
it.
can do it from here to here. Now you know.
Don't let them talk because you're
Because
the
that's your
professional. And like I always tell my students, who's the boss of this chair? You are. You're the boss of your chair. You can do it nice, nasty, but you're the boss of this chair. You let your consultation. You let them know that this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do.
I'm in control.
You're in control of this chair. You're in control. If they want you to do their hair, then you're in control. So make sure that you do this.
It might not get done today.
Yeah, right. But hey, but you're gonna still give them a nice hairstyle. You're gonna give them some condition, but you're gonna still hook them up until you get there. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have them hooked up. Then, oh, okay. I'll be back in 2 weeks to get my hair done.
I said, one of my clients to a dermatologist.
Yeah.
I told you can't get back to my chair until you got a doctor's.
They do that too. Because somebody come in, they got some type of scalp disease going on,
Don't do it.
and you professionally refuse that client in that time and you refer them to a dermatologist, you have the right to say, I'm not comfortable where you can't get back in my chair until you come back to me like a doctor's office.
I felt bad because he was counting on his depending on his mom, like because she was still that age. Stuff like that. He was communicating with me like, man, I'm trying to get back to you. My mom just kind of, I said, yes, I'll get my point. So like that, really,
You can't do, and don't do anybody's hair that has anything. And that's why when they get in your chair, that's why you're looking at it, because they could have bugs in their hair, they have lice, have bugs in their hair. And it's like, okay, just, if you see anything crawling in there, you make sure that you don't let nobody else and everything that you got, you get that cake, and you whisper in their ear that, hey, we can't do this, and you clean everything.
Now you gotta whisper in their ear.
Wash it and
don't
everything.
freak out.
Please, I know y'all naturally.
Do not say it out loud, please.
Don't freak out.
No.
To my son,
That's how some friend, they jump up, get
I'm back. I'm talking about some,
But you knew though.
I'm talking about some,
The bugs.
how you caught me off guard? You talking about on screen?
How you come in here?
You talking about some,
You don't know you got bugs in your hair.
you was itching before you came in here. You peeled the scalp off and you said, I'm still coming in here.
Push it on the floor.
Come on,
She
shit
did,
hurt. You make my head itch.
she did her job, the best that she could do. But all she could do was when she saw the lights, her eyes got big, she said to calm down, she said, hold on, I'll be right back. And she went and got her instructed. If that's all you can do that. You feel me? Do not spaz out, make the client feel no type of weird way, because they may or may not know that they had lice.
But if you knew you had it and you came
We
to
don't know.
chair,
We don't know if they knew.
But y'all say bugs, I didn't say like.
that's right. What if it ain't lice?
I don't know about any of them.
Anything.
Got mine, Mr. Boyd?
If you see anything
Part time.
causing
I'm gonna
anybody's head,
do with the.
your natural reaction is going to be. But don't do that.
No, mom, it ain't too much stuff like that.
Yeah, don't do that though. Because if this isn't here, if they follow, it's probably embedded. It's not just gonna be that one.
And it's not just one, it's not just those people. It happens to everybody. So don't just
Yes.
go messing with our
I'm glad-
people, just going
Listen
in
up,
like,
listen up.
oh.
I'm glad that y'all just said that. It is not just, if we talking on just life, it's not just one
Specific.
specific ethnicity that gets everything.
Black people get wing worms too.
Anything that anybody will hear.
Like hitchhiker, this was a compliment. I mean, itchy hitchhiker.
So, Mr. Boy, how you feeling today?
All right, sir, I can't complain, man. Wrong with this one. Yes, sir.
So dancing back on this porosity level, we have the high, average, and low. Low porosity, the cuticle is tight, making the hair more resistant to chemical penetration, and may require a longer time to penetrate the hair shaft or a higher volume of development for its strength. The hair will feel smooth and or hard following the porosity test. Yes.
So we'll say, y'all clients got low porosity, they want the hair color red.
Nope.
Try to get y'all to talk out of it. Red has one of the biggest molecules, and it is such a challenge to get it to stick. And it bleeds for a very long time. So you got low porosity, and they want the color red, you setting yourself up. It's gonna be pink in 2 days. Yes.
What'd you say?
My mom's girlfriend, my life kept dying in her bed.
Yeah, because the cuticle, they have.
They wasn't doing the proper preparation to accept that red into their hair.
And it fades so quick because the
And
molecule
then,
is so big. Because
9 times out of 10, they was probably just going to Sally's or somewhere, just getting a box ring. That's just a topical. They want to get you no value of developers on the cuticle open for it to actually get into the cortex, for it to sit in.
or rinse it into the water. That's an important thing too, because you're sealing
Cold
that
water.
cold water, because you're sealing it. Now nothing, it just makes it harder for it to catch. But that red is one of those challenges, especially for red.
So with the low porosity too, so it's saying use 20 body, you could have upped it up to 40. So that it goes to that cuticle.
You gotta go there, you gotta go.
Yeah.
to your girl and your mom. Hey, look, learn something.
Yeah.
I just said I did, and I'll be doing it.
He gonna be a CBS, so put the box down.
Come on, I got you, man. We about to shoot the Cosmo car.
Because usually when they buy the boxes, there's 20 volume in there anyway. But
Cause that's the
if you're
safest.
mixing your color, you're mixing your color. You have 19, 15, or in this low porosity, you're gonna use, you're gonna use a 40 volume, which is gonna open that cuticle up, and that red molecule is gonna get into that.
Mhm.
Red pigment is really, the molecule is bigger than most of the other colors, especially true.
I think
So
it's the
it's-
biggest molecule.
It's, yeah, so if you got like a small, and it's trying to get in, it's not a lot.
It's not gonna get in there.
Just go like, I say, you gotta open it.
It's like our, picture this, bro. Our hair cuticles lay on top of each other like house shingles. You throw that developer on there, it blows them open and lifts them up.
And then that
Color
So now
deposits.
it's open up for the color to get deposited in there. Then we start closing it down with the color and all this stuff. And with the
after about
cool
30
water,
minutes, it's a cool water, and you keep,
and then that locks it in.
That's one of my favorite chapters.
Yeah, I
No, I
love
do.
it. Natural hair color. My boy dropped his dime on us before we even started class. Shout out to E.
Huh?
He was doing some
Yeah.
work over the weekend. Natural hair
Nah,
color ranges from black to dark brown to red, and from dark blonde to lightest blonde. These natural color ranges are produced by two types of melanin. If you never heard of the different types of melanin, here you go today. Eumelanin, not spelled with a U first, it's EU melanin. EUMELANIN.
Is it one considered food and one considered one?
One,
Theo is one, and EU is color.
yeah. Eumelanin provides the black and browns, the natural black and brown pigment color to hair. Eumelanin. Pheomelanin provides the yellowish, blonde, red pigments to hair. So, those are something you need to take note to. If you didn't know, now you know. It's probably gonna be on your test. Guaranteeing you it is. These three factors that determine what color, what natural hair color look like are the thickness of the hair, the total and size of pigment granules, and the ratio of eumelanin to pheomelanin within the cortex layer. The cortex layer is where your melanin is found. Gray hair is the result of a reduction. And right now, anybody know the technical name for gray hair?
You guys need it.
Anybody? Candidates? It's either,
I thought it was candies or something else.
it's candidates or kinesis.
Yeah.
I've heard them pronounced both ways. They spell it the same way.
It's the name of what?
It's
Gray hair.
technically the scientific
The
term for gray hair.
No,
Gray hair
not
is the
Nisi,
result
not me.
of a reduction in the production of melanin pigment. White hair is the actual color of keratin. So that letting y'all know there is a difference between white and gray. Gray hair is just a reduction of melanin. White is the actual hair color of keratin without melanin, and therefore it does not contain either type of melanin. So white hair doesn't have U or pheo. Gray hair still has a little bit. Bottom line. Contributing or your undertone, your contributing pigment is the pigment that lies under the natural hair color. The foundation of hair coloring is based on modifying the hair coloring, the pigments. That's where the swatches is gonna come in. because your swatches, once you spread it, usually on both sides of the color swatches, you got your color, 1 through 10. On the other side, it's the undertones. So that gives you the both sides of it that you will see whether you're doing color or lighting, what's gonna be exposed once you start implementing those chemicals.
Someone's, like, say they hear this green and they want to make it red, or if it was black and they want to make it red, you have to go in and make it the opposite color before you can make the color.
Mhm.
So when people say, oh, I want to go from this color to that color, I have to explain to them. You're looking at the color on top, but there's colors underneath it.
Mhm.
And people are like, oh.
And you might have to, again,
Yes, they have to
do it in
double
process.
Especially if it's black.
Going from black to blind isn't.
That's the
Probably.
major change.
It's gonna turn green.
Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, that's gonna be tragic. I say going over 3-4 levels is, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be tragic.
Right.
Going in either direction, up or down.
Even when you like, remove color, like the bleach color movement,
Mhm.
that like.
So-
So like, oh, I could just bleach it. No. You wanna go in there and take all those colors out. Because what happens is you're gonna put that color on top of all the other 8 colors that they had over the past year.
It's gonna look like
And
an
it's gonna
ugly
look
Skittles
crazy.
bag.
It's gonna look like brown. Like you mixed all the Kool-Aid together and it was brown.
Mm.
And then you have to correct it all over again. So the
Yeah.
color is not just surface. Y'all definitely gotta make sure y'all tell people like it's more this. It's a lot of-
And for deep color like that, you'll have to use a 40 or 30, 35.
Depends on what you're trying to get to.
Well, like we saying, dark from black to light. Would it have to go high off back?
It depends on the levels that you want to.
That's a lot of levels.
Right.
Jumping in between them. So let's say somebody came in at a level 1 or 2, and they wanted to jump up to 8 or 9.
Right.
That's
About 7.
me looking at that. Me just for my safety, I probably wouldn't try to do that all at one time.
Mm.
I would
Or
put
30 at the most.
I would do no more than 30. But I'm probably just for safety reasons, especially with somebody I've never done it here. Yeah, I'm gonna start. You gotta start taking the levels out to get it up 7, 8 levels. You don't want to
You jump
just
straight to a 40, then it's gonna go too fast. You're gonna go past your mark, and then you have to bring it back. It's just working. Then now you took the hairs to
No.
You gotta give a preconditioner.
protein pack, hot oil treatment, a little prayer, holy water.
And they ain't gotta pay for it either.
Right, that part. You mess somebody hair up on their hair color, and you gotta correct it. You gotta do that. So all that, however long it take them 2 or 3 sessions, it's gonna take.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna use a 40 real quick.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
So
Soon as
now
you get done putting that foil on, when that color, you like, what happened?
and then
It
now,
ain't hot. It's summertime. Y'all doing it in the kitchen. It's hot. They ain't hot. That
Y'all
man.
really- who did besides you, Lucky? Who else has done coloring or like lifting? Y'all put it on and y'all felt the chemical. Y'all feel it heat up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can smell it.
Especially with the bleach on first.
Oh, yeah.
When it accidentally get on my thumb or something.
And now it's turning white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't put a color cap on there. Oh, tough. You just decrease your time.
Oh, yeah.
4.5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a he ain't
Because you
paid.
tapping all that heat, and this ain't got nowhere to go, and it's oxidizing slow, and it.
Yeah.
But the last dude I did, it ain't burn him like that.
The what?
The last guy I did his whole head. He was talking about it wasn't burning and stuff. I'm like, but I guess some people could take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it varies per person.
Are you
But
talking about
I feel
the
like it
blue
has
hair
to-
already did?
Yeah.
I'm like a chemical reaction.
But see, here's the thing too, y'all. Here's the thing too. By the time they get up out that chair, everything's fine. It's fine. Because
It's
your body
later.
hasn't even had a chance
Adjusted
to
yet.
react to
Yeah.
adjust to
It's
it.
later.
But
Yeah, that's why I said-
2 weeks. Man, hair on your pillow. So yeah, they walk out of here kind of like, oh yes, it's right, it's cool. And then you get that call like, yo, my hair is in my sink. and you like, nah, it wasn't my fault because when you left out here, everything was shining so like that. Your body has to get a chance to
It's
either
y'all, it's our fault.
and then, yeah, it's definitely gonna be our fault. But his hair, yeah, I could tell he gonna need some conditioning because by the time, you can tell like when you see too much of it, it's hard to explain. It's like you can see the scalp is about to start to try to heal itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause that bleach done gave it a whole chemical reaction.
And every time I
Yeah.
do color,
That's why I told him I
it don't matter what it is,
Right.
I tell them or suggest or give them direct products to put in their hair.
Exactly. To maintain
I
it.
tell them, we took so much out of y'all hair. You gotta put those proteins
Back in.
here.
So
Exactly.
never let your client leave the shop if you've done all that. Never let them leave the shop without you giving them a protein treatment before they leave because you, like you just said, you're putting all that back in that you took out.
Right.
Never let them leave out because if you do, as she said, it's going to be on that pillow. So never let them leave out. Always put that, whatever you took out of that hair, you put it back in there.
And I always remind my color people, I say, listen, my color, the people, my clients I color here, I say, you see the purple, you see the blue, you see the brown, the gold, this is what you see. But you have to remember that up under this is bleach. You have to treat your hair as such. They just see the color. They don't see the bleach. That bleach is what's gonna tear that
The
hair up.
breakage,
They don't
tearing that hair up.
condition it so that they just looking at the glitter, the shine, stuff like that. So we know what it took to get here, so it's our responsibility to tell them like, listen, this is what we have to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we take care of the color, we maintain the color, but you have to
It's
take
a
care
responsibility
of
for real.
And send them home with that, so they could be doing that, because they're not coming back to you for another 4 weeks or so. Make sure they go home with something that's gonna keep their hair intact and on their head.
No, you get into doing color and stuff.
Especially
That's
a lot.
that's why I said, when you go buy something, buy at least 3 or 4, because don't buy the whole case, because you don't know how many colors and stuff. But buy 3 or 4, so you're able to send something home with your clients, and you give them that, right, those chemicals, especially with the color and the relaxers. So make sure that you send, always send something home with them.
Coloring.
Because they're not, sometimes they don't come back in 3 or 4 days.
Another experience with coloring, y'all. Make sure y'all got enough product before you even get started. Nothing's worse than if you were bleaching a whole head
And you run out.
got enough already made for one section.
Yeah.
Or you colored, you got to onto the store. Now you done